Hello. Today I'll be talking to you about the future of extreme sports. Extreme sports are rapidly acquiring the status of mainstream sports and are increasingly recognised as a profitable enterprise by both the sports and business industry. The significance of my article was to clarify the increasing trend in action sports participation rates over the years. As recently as 15 years ago, extreme sports had little to no presence on the national stage. Participants were often labelled as delinquents and were reprimanded for their eccentric use of public spaces. In the mid-1990s, the youth of America began to embrace the subcultures that surrounded extreme sports and the daring enthusiasts that participated in them, seeing a shift in the public perception of extreme sports. Driven by athletes who continually test the boundaries of impossible, extreme sports culture is now a mainstream lifestyle that heavily influences billions of dollars of consumer spending. Extreme sports are an appealing recreational and athletic option for countless individuals. On an international scale, extreme sports have numerous corporate events and competitions, making the sports appeal to a wider target audience. Action sports are becoming increasingly popular amongst youthful generations in terms of an alternative option to conventional sports participation. According to professional skateboarder Rob Dyrdek, action sports are a lifestyle, not a recreational sport or hobby. In the past decade, action sports such as BMX and snowboarding have developed into Olympic competition events, gaining the attention of many conventional sporting enthusiasts. This also raises the question as to what the future holds for action sports development. Surf was good. So, what are action sports? Action sports, also known as extreme sports, is a term used to describe the activities that occupy a high level of inherent risk and involve being countercultural. The term extreme sport often is used to describe a multitude of various activities. However, which sports are considered extreme is considered to be debatable. There are several characteristics common to most extreme sports. They often consist of speed, height, danger, high levels of physical exertion, specialized gear, and creativity involved with stunts and maneuvers. The distinction between an extreme sport and a conventional sport has much to do with marketing, as it has to do with perception about the characteristics and level of danger and adrenaline involved. In recent decades, the term extreme sport was further promoted by the X Games Corporation, a multitude sport event created and developed by ESPN. The first X Games was held in Newport, Mount Snow Providence, and Vermont, USA in 1995. Extreme sports these days applies more to youth sports like surfing, skateboarding, BMX, snowboarding, and motocross, and is closely associated with the marketing efforts aimed at the younger generation. Advertisements from corporations such as Mountain Dew and Nike portray and associate the youth with extreme sports through their favoured styles of clothing and music. The shift in styles may be partly due to a generational shift, as baby boomers and Generation X and marketing efforts associated with extreme sports have shifted towards Generation Y demographic since the mid to late 1990s. The media often portrays and differentiates extreme sports from traditional sports by categorizing the activities involved as having a high number of inherently uncontrollable variables. Extreme athletes not only compete against other athletes in their field, but also against environmental obstacles and self-challenges. These environmental variables include natural phenomena that have an effect on weather and terrain. As these elements cannot be controlled, they inevitably affect the outcome of the particular activity or event. So why are action sports enthusiasts attractive to marketers? In terms of commodification and extreme sports, it can be seen how the sporting genre is utilised to create niche products and market goods for the target demographic. It can be argued that energy drinks, like Red Bull, are a success due to the extreme sports market, along with profitable events like the X Games competition, which receives millions of dollars due to its exclusive television rights with the ESPN network. Advertisers are using action sports as an effective way to keep their brands cool in the minds of America's youth. These consumers are wary of traditional marketing tactics, but are receptive to the brands that truly embrace and support their culture. There are a multitude of action sports brands like DC, and bands that market their products to suit the extreme sports demographic. Now, they're seen as niche sporting products, but also target the casual consumer as well. This is just an example of how corporations and brands are using commodification to make millions of dollars in business revenue each year out of extreme sports. Looking at extreme sports from a national and international perspective, Australia's outlook on extreme sports is relatively positive, producing large numbers of athletes that dominate certain sports like surfing, skateboarding, BMX and motocross in particular, at the highest level. Australian professionals Owen Wright, pro surfer, and Tora Bright, pro snowboarder, are examples of young promising talent in the industry. Owen Wright is Australia's top surfer, ranked number 4 in the world. This year he has consecutively competed against surfing legend Kelly Slater in 3 final series, beating him once at the Quicksilver Pro in New York. Tora Bright won Australia's first gold medal for snowboarding in the Winter Olympics in 2010. She is the best female snowboarder in the world and is constantly a threat in any competition she enters. These two athletes are ambassadors for the extreme sports in Australia at a tender age where they have plenty of time to progress in terms of their careers and athletic achievements. With a level of professional athletes booming in Australia, the sky is the limit for extreme sports development. Australia's corporate stand in the world of extreme sports market looks dominant as well. Australian professionals are all sponsored by international and domestic brands, generating profits for all companies and persons involved. In recent years, it can be noticed that the increased funding from both the local and state government has assisted in the development of extreme sports facilities. These facilities include skate parks, indoor-outdoor rock climbing centres, motocross fields and various surf clubs. Extreme sports retail outlets have also increased around the nation due to the popular demand for niche sporting goods. The government may decide to introduce extreme sports participation programs into school as an option for recreational activity. If this strategy were to be implemented, students would be given the opportunity to explore their physical interests, and we would see the development of extreme sports positively change in our nation. On an international level, extreme sports have established itself as a dominant market. Every extreme sport has a major event sponsored by $1 million corporate company. For example, both the Summer and Winter X Games competition is sponsored by energy drink leader Red Bull. As previously discussed, media outlets encourage extreme sports enthusiasts to excel and become immersed in the subcultures associated with the sports. Extreme sports in today's society is rapidly becoming more acceptable as a serious means of athletic performance. Extreme sports athletes around the world receive millions of dollars in sponsorship and competition earnings. With that being said, being a professional extreme sports athlete is a well-respected profession. Niche extreme sports brands and products are constantly being produced, expanding the commercial market for the industry. America is viewed as the world leader of extreme sports development and entertainment, with the majority of the sports being developed in the nation. The social impacts that associate with action sports occupy participants' motives to become involved in their sport. Individuals often become involved with action sports due to its social benefits and self-manageable progression and development. Compared to conventional sports, with most action sports there is no need for a coach or strict dieting or training schedule. Liberty and independence is gained through the subculture of action sports participation, and may be the main reason for the increasing numbers of participation rates over the years. The fact that action sports athletes have so much freedom is a credit to the lifestyle they live. Thank you for listening to my presentation on the future of extreme sports.